It's Benny Gantz, who was the military chief of staff under Netanyahu. Now, Gantz didn't used to be a political guy. He formed this new party called Blue and White early this year. Mostly, in fact, to get Netanyahu out of office. There are many Israelis who are fed up. They've had enough of Netanyahu. Of course, he does have his followers, and that's why we've got this almost kind of 50-50 result, at least according to the exit polls. You know, real numbers are still some hours away, Elaine.
So, Dan, if the election produces a deadlock, what options does Benjamin Netanyahu have moving forward?
Well, it depends on the president of the country. Raviv Rivlin is his name. And he has to look at the situation, and under Israeli tradition, he has to consider which politician has the best chance of putting together a coalition required to have 61 seats out of the 120 in parliament. So he might choose Netanyahu and say, okay, Netanyahu, you get the first shot at it. Now, that usually would be the leader of the party that has more seats than anybody else. So it could be the Blue and White Party, could be Likud. Again, the exit polls aren't totally clear on this. So the president would give the first man chosen 3 weeks, generally, in order to try to put together a coalition. Early this year, Netanyahu had his shot at it and just could not succeed. They did not manage to build a coalition, and that's why we have another election now, 5 months after the other one this year. It could be that he gives Netanyahu a chance, and then he gives Benny Gantz a chance, and then he gives someone else a chance, or back to Netanyahu. All in all, this could take weeks, Elaine.
So it could take weeks. In the meantime, what would be the reaction you might expect from the Trump administration as this gets hashed out?
Well, I'd say that Donald Trump has made no secret of the fact that he considers Benjamin Netanyahu a personal friend, not just a political ally. And early this year, it was clear that President Trump was trying to help Netanyahu. During that election campaign in March and April, that's when President Trump announced the United States recognizes that the Golan Heights, captured from Syria, is part of Israeli sovereign territory. A big favor to Netanyahu after, of course, earlier favors like moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. This time, nothing that major, in fact. President Trump did this past weekend say he was on the phone to Netanyahu. They talked about a possible mutual defense treaty. Again, everyone assumes that Trump would prefer Netanyahu. He's the Israeli that Trump knows. On the other hand, at the White House, they apparently know that Benny Gantz is okay, former military chief of staff, a lot of contacts in the Pentagon. So I'm not sure that the Trump administration will say much of anything. A lot of Israelis think that Trump will keep trying to help Netanyahu even now to form a coalition. On the other hand, President Trump may decide better hands off. Either way, Trump intends to be still friendly toward Israel.
Interesting. Well, we know that the Trump administration plans to release an Israeli-Palestinian peace plan soon. How could the outcome of this election affect the rollout of that plan, if at all?
Well, they kind of affect each other, and that's why the White House decided not to roll out the plan during the Israeli election campaign. To do it now, during coalition building, that would seem very strange. But if there's something in there that would look really good for Netanyahu, like the United States agrees with Netanyahu that parts of the West Bank should be annexed by Israel. Wow, if the peace plan says that, that would seem to strengthen Netanyahu, and maybe the Trump White House would do it. Again, I doubt it, but it might. There also could be elements of the peace plan that, in fact, would be tough on Netanyahu, requiring that Israel pull back from some of the West Bank territory. So it's a big mystery. President Trump, frankly, hasn't approved going ahead with this plan that was developed mostly by his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. We've been waiting for it for more than 2 years. Would they issue it like next week? I'll be surprised, but you do get surprises.
All right, Dan Raviv in Washington. Dan, thank you very much.
Okay.
The House